Good morning, children. Up to now we have studied alternating current circuits with the different components. We have studied the purely resistive circuit, we have studied purely inductive circuit, and we have studied purely capacitive circuit, and how the relation between the instantaneous current and the instantaneous voltage is generated. We have also studied the different phasor diagrams for the different components. Okay, so today we are going to start with the series LCR circuit, in which the inductor, capacitor and the resistor are connected in series with respect to the particular alternating current supply, whose EMF is equal to E naught sin omega t. And this question is generally asked for full-fledged 5-mark question in the board exam. Also, some of the numericals are based in the board by using the same concept, that is a series LCR circuit. So this topic is completely important topic if we consider in the CBSE exam point of view. Okay, so let us consider this series LCR circuit, and then we will go for its phasor diagram and the impedance triangle also. Okay, so let us consider that the resistance R, inductance L and capacitance C are connected in series with the source EMF, that is called as a E naught sin omega t. Okay, so we have E is equal to E naught sin omega t. This is our first equation. Okay, now I is the current flowing through that particular series circuit at any instant. You can see that here in the diagram itself, the current and the voltage across the resistance, their phase relation or their phasor relation is shown here. You can see that current and the voltage across the resistor both are in phase with each other. Therefore, two parallel lines are shown. For the inductor, you can see that we have studied that in inductor, the current lags behind and the voltage leads ahead by the pi by 2 phase. And in the capacitor, current leads by pi by 2 phase with respect to the voltage across the capacitor. Okay, so everything is mentioned in this particular diagram. So we are going to consider now one by one component and the voltages across these particular components. Okay, so we are going to say that if the current I is passed through this series circuit at any instant, then we have voltage across the resistor is VR is equal to RI. Okay, across the resistance R will be in phase with the current. So phasors VR and I are in the same direction as shown in the diagram. The amplitude of VR. Now what is the amplitude? Amplitude of voltage across the resistance is nothing but the maximum voltage developed across the resistor, that is nothing but the voltage amplitude. So I'll write down here voltage amplitude of VR is nothing but V naught, that is peak voltage across the resistor R. This is mentioned like this. Okay, is equal to I naught into R, because when the voltage is at the peak value, obviously the current is also reaching to the maximum value, that is I naught into R. Okay, so let us go for the second component. Which is the second component here? We have the second component as a inductor L. Okay, so voltage across the inductor I can write down as voltage across inductor, that is VL is equal to XL into I. Okay, what is XL? It is an inductive reactance. Okay, across the inductance L is ahead of current. Voltage is always ahead of current than that of the particular current in the circuit which is consisting of the inductor. Okay, and by how much phase? It is by the pi by 2 phase. Okay, so therefore we can consider here the amplitude of this particular voltage across the inductor is given as VO L, that is peak voltage across the inductor developed, is equal to I naught into XL. Okay, now the third case we are going to consider about the capacitor. Now across the capacitor we can see that here the voltage is lagging behind than that of the current by the pi by 2 phase. Okay, so therefore it is represented by this phasor also. Now if I want to find out the voltage, then I will write down voltage across the capacitor VC is equal to, I know that it is IXC into I, isn't it? So we have, it is XC into I is the voltage across the capacitor. Now we can find out here the voltage peak voltage or the maximum voltage across the capacitor is given by I naught into Xc. Okay, where I naught is again considered as a maximum current. Okay, now we can see that here three different components we got it here, that is representing the peak voltage across resistance, peak voltage across inductor, and peak voltage across the capacitor when all are connected in series with the AC source. Okay, now we are going to consider this particular in terms of the phasor diagram, and then we will consider the final expression for LCR circuit. Okay, so to get that, let us consider this phasor diagram. Now in this phasor diagram, all three components phasor diagram are combined in the one particular diagram. And you can see that in this particular circuit we have considered that the voltage across inductor is greater than voltage across capacitor. So it is more inductive circuit than the capacitive circuit. Okay, so when we have the more inductive circuit, then V across L is always greater than Vc. If we are considering the capacitive circuit, then at that time voltage across capacitor, it must be greater than voltage across the inductor. But for this particular expression, we are considering VL is greater than Vc. Okay, now we know that the relation, according to this relation, phasor relation shown, the same phasor relation is shown here. You can see here this red arrow is representing voltage across the R. Okay, so voltage across R, as we have said that the phasor of voltage is always higher, okay, or higher or larger in the magnitude. So we have shown here VR with a larger line. Okay, and on the same line I have shown the current also, because voltage and current are in phase with each other across the resistor. Therefore current I phasor is also shown on the same line but with a smaller magnitude. Okay, now if you compare this VR or this I with respect to Vc, you can see that I is ahead with respect to voltage across the capacitor by the pi by 2 phase. So the same diagram we have drawn here once again. Okay, now let's consider the capacity inductive circuit. Okay, so in inductor circuit, voltage is leading and current is lagging by pi by 2 phase. So here green color represents, VL represents the voltage across the inductor which is leading by pi by 2 phase with respect to this current. Okay, now you can see that all the three phasors with respect to inductor, resistor and capacitor and with respect to the current are involved in one simple diagram. Okay, so as we can see that VL and VC are in the opposite direction, exactly in the opposite direction. Okay, so their resultant we have to find out. Now what we have done, I have taken this VC on this side and this VC is a phasor. I have turned this phasor in the opposite direction. So obviously if this is plus VC, then this orange color line you can see that it is minus VC. Okay, so this is VL and this is minus VC. So this orange color phasor now represents the resultant of VL and VC, that is VL minus VC. Okay, so VL minus VC is the green orange color phasor, shows that it is the resultant of VL and VC on the same side. Okay, now therefore this is VL minus VC, this is VR, voltage across the resistor. Then we are going to connect a parallelogram. Okay, so if we connect the parallelogram, then we can see that there is a diagonal of the parallelogram, and this diagonal or the resultant of the parallelogram must be equal to the applied EMF, because we have applied the EMF E is equal to E naught sine omega t. Okay, and that EMF is going to distribute across R, across L, across C. So therefore the if I add up all those voltages across each component, then it must be giving the actual voltage which we have supplied. So we have supplied here the EMF that is equal to E. Okay, so the diagonal of this parallelogram represents the particular applied EMF E. Okay, now we are going to utilize here the parallelogram law, or we can use it here, the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so by using the Pythagoras theorem, if I apply here, then we can get it as here E naught square must be equal to E naught square, that is E, this is E representing, and this completely representing as a maximum peak voltage developed across that or supplied across that particular series circuit. So E naught square must be equal to V naught R square, voltage across R resistor square, plus voltage across inductor minus voltage across capacitor square. Okay, so this is according to the Pythagoras theorem, and we have just now found out the values of all these quantities. Okay, so instead of voltage across R, I will write down I naught R square. Okay, now plus voltage across inductor, I will write down I naught XL minus voltage across capacitor I naught XC whole bracket square. Okay, so if I have here I naught square, I will take it outside, I naught square, then inside the bracket there will be R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. So I got this value as a E naught square. Okay, now I will consider this equation, how to find out the value of I naught, because we want the value of I naught also. Okay, so for that we are again considering this equation in terms of the I naught. Okay, so this equation I can say that I will get it as a I naught is equal to E naught upon under root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Okay, so I got the equation now, this equation. Okay, now you can see that this particular factor, that is under root of R square plus XL minus XC square, is nothing but called as the effective resistance of the series LCR circuit. So I can write down this as a effective resistance of series LCR circuit, because this represents the overall resistance, effective resistance, whenever the R is connected, whenever inductive reactance is considered and the capacitive reactance is considered. And this whole the term is nothing but the effective resistance of the series LCR circuit, which opposes or impedes the flow of the current through it, and therefore it is called as a impedance. So I will write down this term as a impedance. Okay, so it is denoted by the letter Z, and its unit is also ohm only, because as it is behaving as a resistance opposition to the alternating current when all these three components are in the series circuit. So its unit is ohm only. So separately I will write down now Z is equal to under root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Okay, and I can write down now Z is equal to under root of R square plus omega L, because I know that XL is nothing but the omega L, minus 1 upon XC is nothing but 1 upon omega C, and whole bracket raised to 2. Okay, so this relationship between the R, that is resistance, the inductive reactance XL and the capacitive reactance XC, and along with the Z is shown by the triangle which is called as an impedance triangle. Okay, so you have to keep in mind first of all this particular formula, because this formula is very important for the calculation of the impedance in the numericals. Okay, so again I will go for the previous particular triangle, that figure. Okay, so this particular triangle OAP is called as the impedance triangle. Okay, so this impedance triangle shows that this OA represents resistance, this XL minus XC is nothing but AP, and this resultant of the triangle is known as the impedance, and the angle between the R and this particular OP is nothing but, or Z is called as a phi factor, or it is called as a phi. So this angle is considered as a phi. Okay, now we are going to consider the special cases. Okay, so whenever we are considering the special cases, we are going to understand about this particular figure, that is phi figure also once again. Okay, so first case I will consider as when XL is greater than XC. Okay, so when XL is greater than XC, I can say that it is voltage across the inductor is greater than voltage across the capacitor. Okay, now we know that the EMF is ahead of the current by the phase phi, and we can find out now this tan phi. Okay, so again tan phi is required. Once again I will draw the triangle here so that you can understand it better. Okay, so this is the triangle we have considered as R. this is XL minus XC, this is P, and this is nothing but Z, and this is the phi. Okay, so the same particular diagram I have drawn here. Now it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so when XL is greater than XC, tan phi is equal to, now tan phi is obviously here XL minus XC divided by R. Okay, or we can find out another angle that is called as a cos phi, and this is going to be important factor whenever we will discuss about the power factor or power of the LCR circuit. So cos phi is equal to R by Z. Obviously cos phi is equal to R by Z. Okay, so we can say that the instantaneous current in the circuit will be at that time I is equal to I naught sine omega t minus phi. Okay, so in this case the particular circuit is called as a inductive circuit. So this circuit is called as a inductive circuit when XL is greater than XC. Okay, now suppose we are considering now XL is less than XC. Okay, so the second case is XL is less than XC. Then obviously voltage across the inductor is less than voltage across the capacitor. Now in this case the current is ahead of the EMF by angle phi. So that time we have to take XC minus XL. Okay, so in that case we can get it tan phi is equal to XC minus XL upon R. But the cos phi remains same. Okay, cos phi is equal to R by Z only. But now as XL is less than XC, therefore we can consider this particular circuit as a capacitive circuit. Okay, so because we have taken here XC minus XL, therefore it is a capacitive circuit. And third point comes to be a very important point, and that point is going to be important for the resonance factor also. Okay, so when we are having the third case, when XL is equal to XC, when the inductive reactance and the capacitive reactance both are having the equal value, that means voltage across capacitor is equal to voltage across the inductor, obviously phi is equal to 0, isn't it? Okay, so therefore in this case the EMF and the current will be in the same phase. Then the series LCR circuit is considered as a purely resistive circuit. Okay, so this term you have to keep in mind very properly. When XL is equal to XC, then phi is equal to 0, VC is equal to VL, and the circuit is called as a purely resistive circuit. Now also we can say that at that time I naught is equal to E naught by Z. This particular formula becomes I naught by root 2 is equal to E naught by root 2 into Z. We have converted into the RMS value because RMS factor is very important for the practical purpose. Okay, therefore I can get it value that IRMS is equal to ERMS divided by Z. Okay, so we are going to have this particular formula to understand the IRMS. Okay, so by this complete derivation part is also important for the 5 mark question, as well as the numericals are based on this particular formulas, So you have to keep in mind all the formulas. Thank you.